We just watched season 2, episode 6 of Gilmore Girls, and we have a lot to say. We both made a yucky face at one point at the same time. So if we remember where that is, I want to mention it. And that was Carrie's first time, everyone. My billionth time. Let's see what we say. Welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Chemda.
I'm Carrie. We're Gilmore Friends. Welcome.
Hello.
Glad you're here.
Yes, and now we reveal the show title.
What is the show title?
Presenting Lorelei Gilmore.
Oh, what a lame-o. Okay.
You know, I was afraid that you might know the title before, and then I thought, oh, that's not going to tell her anything. But after you see the show, it does mean something. Right. By the way, don't forget to subscribe. There's a button in front of you that says subscribes, and we would love it if you press that button. Let's get into alternative titles. Do you have any? I
called this one Debutante, and the word taunt, it was a pun. Get it?
So I heard it.
Debutanting.
I like it.
So debutanting. I don't know how I would have spelled that for the episode, but that would have been a clear spoiler. But that was the clever title I came up with.
I do like debutanting because it makes it a little clearer, a little faster.
Yes.
I have 2 because I'm trying to overachieve and fall short because it's not as good as the one. Pinkies up.
Okay.
You know? And my other one. Okay. Wow, Chris is an adult.
Nice. Mm-hmm, I like that one. A little shade. Yep. Yep.
You know, I'm fully shaded. There is no sun on me when Chris is on screen.
Yep.
All I have is shade to throw. All I can do is just seethe. I do not like this man.
The bar is just pretty low for TV men in the world.
That's all. Well, it was low for him in that regard back then. I want to just, every time we talk about Chris, all I'm going to do in this episode, I think, is just go like, wow, Chris.
I know.
Regular thing much?
I know.
Oh, wow, Chris.
He's doing great.
You kind of showed up.
Yeah.
Wow, Chris, you walked her down the stairs. Good job. Oh, my goodness. Do you have an adult person life?
He's growing up now that Rory's 16.
Now that Rory's grown up.
Right. And now
who was coming out who? Like, what is this?
Yeah. Maybe he's so grown up he can help pay for Chilton. I don't know. Weird things like that cross my mind.
I mean, maybe he can show up when he moved like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And didn't tell anyone. All right. Okay. We'll get to you, Christopher. Okay.
Yeah.
But first, Emily and Richard in this one, did they not break your heart?
They did a little bit. This one had a lot of curveballs that I was not expecting.
Very true. You were yelling at the screen completely false information, and I loved it.
I yelled all kinds of wrong things at the screen, and nothing happened the way I thought it would, except for Chris being with somebody, which
that's true.
I did, and I wrote it down when they were dancing. I was like, oh, I bet he has someone. I bet he has a lady friend because he's cute, and like cute boys have lady friends.
You did call this one very, very much.
But aside from that, I did not expect the plot to go where it went.
You were saying like the opposite of what was about to happen. I love that. I love that.
Because we started off in a crazy place. Richard and Emily are fighting. What?
Yes.
I didn't even know they even talk to each other, let alone fight at each other.
Well, they're not supposed to, right? And we're certainly not supposed to be seeing it. And Lorelai, I always feel odd about how she enjoys her parents' pain so very much.
Right. Because it means they're not perfect.
And
they always want her and the world. They want the world to think they're the perfect couple. And so when she sees cracks in that, it delights her. But I think
what? It always seemed a little meaner than that to me, but I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
It's not that she's being mean. It's not that she likes when people fight. It's that she's kind of going, yeah, there you are.
Right, exactly. You're not perfect. And stop pretending you are, because I see you and I see what's happening here. Yeah.
Ooh, we should call this one I See You.
I See You.
Ooh, yes. So yeah, she's in with the I wish I had popcorn, and we're at the dinner theater.
All
this, she even claps when they're done fighting because they realize people are watching them.
Yeah.
evermore do you like evermore? Who am I? But
the Raven.
You could evermore. You could see that they don't consider their staff people. They are
right.
They can
yes, that's right. We open on Liesel, which is a name from Sound of Music. Isn't that one of the children in the Sound of Music? I don't know.
I only know them by their whistle.
Yes, exactly. Because they're not even human. Mm-hmm. So yes, I like the timid, terrified house, staff. And then she's like, "You can hide in the kitchen," and she's like, "Thank you."
But the thing is Emily and Richard don't think they're fighting in front of anyone until Lorelai and Rory show up.
Because staff aren't people.
They're not there. They're not even, forget people. They're not there.
Yeah, and staff gossips more than anybody.
Yeah, that's why I think now people have to sign NDAs. I don't know if they were always doing that.
Yeah,
because you could write a tell-all from the maid's perspective.
Exactly. You've seen Downton Abbey, am I right?
I've seen some of it, and I thoroughly enjoy the way they talk, even though I can't do it, and I'm pretending to know how. Okay.
But staff is like a lamp or like a couch. Like it's not, you can talk in front of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and which makes sense because the idea of luxury is that things show up in front of you and move through your day. And so if you acknowledge human beings, it's not as luxurious.
Right, because a human has to hand that to you. You're not going to stop your conversation when a human being comes in to hand you tea.
Right.
Because then you'd never be able to talk. You'd be like,
tea just shows up.
It appears before you. So
So by the way, they're fighting, and I just like to make the lists throughout the show of the things because sometimes they, when Lane says, I want this music, I usually have the music. When they list a bunch of
what's the list? The list of Emily's social engagements?
Yes.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear the list.
The functions. First of all, they're arguing about tonight's function or the upcoming function. She is the co-chair of the Starlight Foundation for 8 years, and it's the Black and White Ball fundraiser. It's the annual, the most important one. So that's one function. Another function is the Hartford Zoological Silent Auction. I'm going to put on my glasses. The Mark Twain House Restoration Fund Luncheon.
Yes.
The Harriet Beecher Stowe Literacy Auction.
Perfect. Let's go to that.
I don't even know what that is. And that's it. But he called these affairs frivolous. Richard Gilmore, excuse me. Who are you? This is your life. This is your frivolous life.
This is your frivolous life that you signed up for, that you invited. And
he calls them your silly social engagements.
This is the job.
That's right.
This is the job. If you are going to be a society person, this is the job. You go to balls, you go to functions, you serve on committees, you go to fundraisers, you do that kind of, that's what you do.
Yeah, you show up, your presence means something in where you are and what position you have. And she sits on the board on a lot of things, which puts her in high position. The way you maintain that is you go to these functions, and he calls it frivolous. And he says anything that has tea is a social engagement, as if the social engagements are not the work of your wife.
Right.
She has a full-time job.
Right.
And I love, she goes, let me get this tape recorder because I'm not sure I'm going to hear you right. I might be delirious from all that tea.
Yes. Which you see this little flash of where the Gilmores get their snark from.
It's really good. She is so good.
They grew up watching this kind of snark and this kind of deadpan sarcasm.
Emily's
snottiness.
snark is the best.
It's the best, right? So this is the Gilmore family is just up to the ears in this snark.
Now, I only saw my parents fight once in my life, and
was it over galas?
I don't even know what it was over. I don't even know, because the moment I saw that they weren't what I'm used to, I broke apart.
Really?
Yeah. And I was too old to be breaking apart from a fight they might just have been having. Now that I'm an adult, it might have just been like a normal back and forth, but I had never seen them disagree openly, bicker. I've never, they're always same team, always just ready for whatever each other, they are doing their job and they come together to do that job together. And they always did that. And all of a sudden they're fighting and I can't even hear anymore. I'm sobbing in the corner, I am inconsolable.
Wow.
And it's bad. And I think it's bad because like it shouldn't have been that aggressive on me. It's like I shouldn't have responded to that. I think I was just not sure how to deal with this emotional change in the house.
Mm-hmm. Well, the vibe is off. I mean, somebody completely shifted the vibe and you're like, what? It's unmooring.
I didn't know that my family consisted of arguments.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that because, you know, the picture that was painted for me was painted for a lot of 50s housewives, right? Like, well, we almost play house because it sounds so fun to be doting and to do our part and to come together. And then he does his part and he takes care of you. And it's what a lot of fantasies were made of. And I thought these fantasies are possible because that's what I was told to look for. Somebody who can do his part, then you do your part and you have nothing to argue over. And so that just broke and shattered a lot of things to me.
Wow.
And I didn't know that like it was just regular to argue when you have to negotiate so much of your life.
Right.
So here's Lorelai, and she knows that happens because she wasn't as naive as I am.
Right. And she's probably seen it before too, you know?
Yeah.
But they do put on a public fronting face when Rory's there, when family's there, when people come over. Mm-hmm. So when she lived in the house, I'm sure she saw that all the time. But now that she's company, they don't fight in front of her.
But now, well, because if you're going to live with someone, you're going to hear all of their different versions of them. And now that she doesn't, but what do you think of that? Aren't we supposed to? But if you're coming over to our place, right? And I live with the man. And if we start arguing in front of you, is that something that we should, keep hold of?
I mean, I've been to functions where the couple just starts fighting, and like usually one of the two people will go, "Let's talk about this later," because it's freaking awkward. Yeah, to fight. Like it was like a conversation. It was a dinner party, and there was a conversation. Actually, it was about gun control.
Oh boy,
this was in college, no less. And it got. At first, it was a conversation. Then it was sort of an argument. Then it was a heated argument. And then the couple hosting got like super loud. And one of them called the other one like,
oh no,
like a redneck gun-toting dirtbag. Okay. And then he called her like a bleeding heart liberal, and it got name-cally, right? And I'm like a tennis match, like watching it. And I'm like, this is awkward. But also, I thought they were the perfect couple. So, like, it is kind of a relief, not relief's not the right word, but just like it's weirdly reassuring that even they can fight, Yeah.
Yeah. I think, but it's hard to live your life out loud. Like you said, that is uncomfortable. So you can't really do it in front of people. But somehow you shouldn't hide it either.
Right. But if I came over, so I'm coming over tomorrow, and if you guys were in a fight.
You want us to fight?
I mean, I would probably call it out. That's more how I am now, where I'm like, you guys, stop fighting. It's freaking awkward.
Yeah. I don't know that we would bring it. I think like the other day, I forgot what I said to you. I was just like, he didn't respond to me like this way. And you were like, did you respond to her that way? And he goes, well, I said the time changed, right? and he goes, and I'm like, you should be happy that the time is changing because people are going to be happier and I'm going to be happier and the light is out and women are happier usually and all this. And he's like, okay, just take some vitamin D. And I was like, oh no, you didn't. I was like, what are you, my doctor now? And he refused to like fight or go back and forth about it. And for some reason I wanted him to respond. So during my check, I was like, he said this. And you were like, did you say it? And he goes, yeah, because she keeps bringing up that the time is going to change. And I don't know how many times I could respond to it. And she go and Carrie goes, well, you didn't tell me that part, Chemda. Okay. and that was it. And like, actually, that helped me a lot. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that I was repeating myself over and over again. And you just going like, okay, shut it down. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Okay.
But I also think I said vitamin D doesn't work.
Yeah, you did. At first you were like, you were on my side like so quickly. You were like, ew.
Because I take vitamin D in the winter and it doesn't work.
And I also know we have this feeling about the time change together. So I knew.
You knew I'd be on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that. But yeah, and we're not going to keep getting into it, but how do you not fight in front of people and also make sure that, you know, you're open and people don't have to think you're perfect and things like that? It's an interesting thing that you ask.
It is a thing. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's fighting and then there's banter. And I've been in relationships with people where our friends can't tell the difference. You know, and like I think we're having like playful banter and my boyfriend gets it. But like around, you know, and like people pull me aside and they're like, you know, that's awkward, right? You know, that's uncomfortable because we can't tell that you guys know you're kidding. And like, it just looks like a couple who doesn't like each other. And I'm like, no, that's how we joke around. And like, I stopped doing that because it's not fun, you know? I mean, it's a little fun. A little ribbing is fun, but like name calling and like, you know, getting kind of more personal is not fun.
Interesting. Like, looking back, can you see it, and would you want to go to that kind of place more and just have people understand it?
My general teasing, I'm very, we've talked about this before, that like my teasing, I've tried to really lighten it up because you just can't always know that how someone else is going to take it.
That's not everybody's love language. Yeah.
You know, you're joking, but that person could be feeling, it could be the worst day of their life. And you just say the thing that you think is a joke and they just take it wrong, and you don't want to hurt someone.
And by the way, eventually, because we're human beings, sometimes when we rib each other, I've found that like a ribbing relationship with people, it ends up that you're like, wait, but now you're actually treating me like that.
Right.
Like it's almost like a sitcom where they become like this exaggerated
and I don't want to go down the slippery slope, but like, so I try to keep the teasing gentle, but remember before when I was making fun of our producer?
Yeah, you were in a weird mood.
I said, who am I? You guys, sound check. Like that's something.
Like, what is this? What is this weird? I don't know.
And it was so funny. It was like, it's part of how we do it. It has to get done. It's not a thing.
Okay, I think I get it more now.
That was really funny. It's like you make fun of someone for doing their exact job that they have to do. It's like, who am I? Oh, I'm going to put on shoes today. Like, okay, that's me. Oh, totally gonna put on shoes.
All right. So anyway, so Emily and Richard are fighting openly.
Okay, so I also didn't like how delighted Lorelai was, but I get it because her parents are so cold and douchey to her. So she was like, "Ooh, dinner and theater."
Yeah, I get it more now that we talked about it.
Yeah,
which is weird.
But I wrote, "Is this the divorce episode?"
Yeah,
I didn't know where the episode was going at all. But I was like, oh, anytime you see a couple fighting on screen, it means they're going to get divorced. So
I mean, they were at it pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, but people fight. I mean, you know, it wasn't that weird. But,
yeah, I think we understood it to be weird because Lorelai kept saying they don't do that in that way. It's more than usual. It's different than usual. And it seems to be sticking. So through Lorelai,
and Rory goes, should we go? Maybe we should go or something like that. And Lorelai won't let her. And then she wants to see it.
Okay. So, and then we also get a little bit of Jess in this episode.
We do get a little bit of Jess, but based on last episode, I thought we would be getting a lot more Jess this episode. But now he's just a regular character, background and all. Like, so he's late to work, and he's wearing a Metallica shirt. Mm-hmm. And Luke is like, change out of that shirt. And like, I don't know, that's a pretty mild like rebellion on Jess's part, I think.
Yeah, and also it's like, first of all, Luke is so behind because Jess isn't there that morning.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. And second, did you tell him what to wear? Because it sounds like all he has is these t-shirts.
Yeah, he didn't bring anything. Yeah.
And your backwards hat and like plaid shirt is
your lumberjack hipster thing is not. Yeah. And then like also P.S. Who is the regular waitstaff at the diner? Because when Rachel came to town, she was the waitress.
Right.
And then she left town and then there was no waitress. And now Jess is in town and Jess is the waitress. Mm-hmm. So like, is there another waitstaff at the?
That's what I was thinking today is like, he's so behind because Jess didn't get to work yet, by the way, before school. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but that means he's waking up at 5 a.m. and he is doing it like a good boy. So, I mean, he was wiping off stuff when we saw him. So yeah. So if it wasn't, is it someone's day off? Like, did you have to fire someone?
Right. How long has Jess been there at this point that he like knows the ropes on how to like run a diner? I don't know. A week? Are we to assume?
A week, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Sure. Really so say. Like, I don't know, but it was weird.
Yeah.
And like, this is the first time this has come up. It's been a week, you know, and like when he was like learning the ropes on how to run the diner, he wasn't like, oh, and don't wear a Metallica t-shirt.
Right. All you have is Metallica and Tool and I don't know. And also I love that for some reason calling Luke Uncle Luke is like cursing at him.
Yeah, it's funny.
And the actor nailed it because when he said Uncle Luke, I cringed, and then Uncle Luke cringed too.
Yeah,
he said it with Luke.
He said it like it was a curse. He was like, "Okay, Uncle Luke," like all like
pretending to be like a good boy, like, "Okay, Uncle Luke."
Yeah.
I don't know because my nephews call me Aunt Chemda, and they say Aunt Chemda. They can't say it. And I'm like, oh my, every time Aunt Chemda comes out of their face, I'm like, oh my God, they called me Aunt.
I know.
I didn't do that growing up. It wasn't Aunt or Uncle so-and-so.
Oh,
it was
really?
Just their name. Yeah. I don't have one uncle that I would call Uncle so-and-so.
Oh, I call my uncles uncle and then their name, but it does feel weird. Like I had to, see them a lot this last couple of months. And it does feel weird as an adult to be like, hi, Uncle Bill. Like
it sounds so sweet.
I know, but like, I don't know. It does feel a little weird. Like it infantilizes me. Like it makes me feel like a child. Where I'm like, we're just two adults talking about a real thing. So I'm like, hey, Uncle Bill. I don't know.
I don't know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to hear it. And I wonder if they'll call me that when they're adults. As far as they're concerned, though, my name is Aunt Chemda because whenever their parents talk about me, they're like, an Aunt Chemda's coming.
Yeah.
So it's my name.
So yes, I'm an honorary aunt. I don't have nieces or nephews of my own. So I have insisted that all of my friends who have children call me Aunt Carrie.
That's
and
cute.
I love Aunt Carrie. She is fun and engaged with children for a few minutes. But I love being called Aunt Carrie. It makes me feel like I'm in a family,
It's
like these
very
are
sweet.
These are my people. And like, these are my chosen family. I have chosen family. I've picked you. I've chosen you. And I'm going to be your aunt. Whether you like it or not.
I think it's sweet to have adults in your life who want to deal with you at all, who are thrilled to be around you. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them's going to be my heir because I don't have children. So they should start sucking up to me now.
Yep.
That's a hint for you kids.
Hang that trust.
Right. I'm going to be the Emily Gilmore to somebody.
Right.
No, I want to be the Auntie Mame to somebody. I want to be, the aunt that takes the kids to travel and do crazy things around the world.
That's really sweet.
That's the fun aunt I want to be.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. Okay. So, so Jess is just making fun of him. All right. What else? So,
we get to Emily and her friends. I knew something weird was going to happen because we never just see Emily doing something. Like the show follows Rory and Lorelai. We don't really follow Emily. So when we finally see Emily and just her buddies, just sitting around, I'm like, oh no, like something's weird.
I never noticed that. Yeah. So
yeah, but it was like a rare day off for like Lorelai,
yeah, and I noticed that. So I think my mom and I think a lot of women did this. They lie about their husband and where he is. So because they're talking about all these affairs that Emily missed and all this stuff, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, you didn't come, Emily. Whatever did happen?" And she starts getting into, well, Richard has been working so much. And then she realizes that she's telling the truth almost, And so she said, oh, and also his back hurts and his knee hurts. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You came out of the story that you've been telling people, and you have to go back into it and search for the right answer that fits better in this society.
Right. Well, because if it's almost like if you like him working hard is not good enough as an excuse, because everybody's working hard, or everybody claims they're working hard.
And so it also means that he's not prioritizing her.
Exactly.
And he needs to work like a common person.
In this society, it has never once occurred to Emily that she could go to these things without Richard.
Well, you can't.
I know.
Yeah.
But like I would be like, if you can't make it, I will go without you.
And you'd be wrong because everybody would be whispering about you.
Yes. And I would say, well, he hurt his back.
Right.
And then, I would lie. But I think the conversation between these ladies is just hilarious. I also love that they named a character who's not on screen, off screen, Truly Bishop, when they're talking to the actress named Kelly Bishop.
That's right. Was it Truly Bishop?
That was the name. I wrote it down. Did I mishear it?
I just wrote down Truly because the name Truly, I didn't know was
I wrote down Truly Bishop, and then I said they're speaking to Kelly Bishop. It's so weird.
That's funny.
Like they wanted to pick a last name that sounded hoity-toity, and it happens to be the actress who's doing the scene.
They had to have known that.
They had to. Of course they did.
How did I never catch that?
I wonder if like Kelly Bishop has a sister or something named Truly, and like it was like a little nod to her or something.
Oh, I read her book. I don't remember having a sister.
Sometimes like the writers do that. They just like throw in a little Easter egg for like, how like Pam named her daughter on The Office after her real life sister.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Something like that.
So maybe something like that.
But they mentioned that so-and-so, if Rory has her debutante coming out ball, that she'll be the prettiest one there, and someone else names another girl, and she goes, she has that scab on her face.
Yeah, because they're trying to Rory comes in and they're trying to convince Emily to put Rory in a debutante ball, and I just saying those words makes me feel really funny. Yeah, they're like, oh, Rory's gonna be the prettiest. But just like you said, somebody goes, no, not with Katie there. Meaning like they're ranking people.
Oh, they've already done it. They don't even.
In front of grandma.
Yeah, these are the mean girls. I mean, these are the popular mean girls grown up. This is what they do. It's still the slam book. It's high school. Everything is high school. Like social order, cliques, gossiping. It's disgusting. Nobody grows up. It's great.
But it's interesting how they all agree. No, didn't you hear it? Katie fell off the horse. She has a scab on her face. So now Rory will be the prettiest.
My God. Scab on her face. It doesn't say like she hurt her face or something. The word scab is just hilarious in that context.
Well, this is where I learned what a debutante. Am I saying it right? Debutante ball?
Debutante ball.
Debutante. Yes. Debutante. I feel like I should be saying it like more French and like cut off a letter or something.
Débutant.
A débutant ball.
You can call it a debutante if you want.
Okay, so
it makes you sound fancy, right?
I had to understand what this is because I've heard that word before, but I had to understand what this is, and it genuinely really is a coming out party and not for gays.
Nope, gays don't exist in this world.
I'm of good breeding and I'm ready for marriage.
It's what Lorelai says when she's horrified that Rory wants to do this, is like, I am now a woman and I'm ready to be courted by a man so that I can get married and have babies.
And they're 16, which when I was 16, my family felt that way. Like, you're ready, let's go. Only meet.
Did you have a sweet 16?
No, but I had a bat mitzvah.
So this is sort of that. This is like the crossover from child to woman.
Yeah.
And like a lot of different cultures have some sort of ceremony.
But and this is weird. This is you really have to. It's like a beauty pageant,
right?
In other cultures, is it like? Does it feel like that? And I just don't know, because this is very much presenting this woman. She has now entered the dating field, whereas these other things are like, oh, she has matured. She's a woman. It's very strange because it's a 12-year-old when I became.
Well, yeah. What's the difference? But like the focus on looks, the focus on beauty, or like just that it's like, have your pick, gentlemen. Like,
yeah, it's
the
more
meat
like
market
that
vibe of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also very specifically the father walks her down to the boy. So
yeah. So I've only known one debutante, and she had a coming out party that was just her. So it was like a quinceañera or a sweet 16 or a bar mitzvah where there's the guest of honor is just the one, not this 10 of them coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And the way she described it, and I wasn't there, of course, but the way she described it was much more casual than this. It's like your family throws a sweet 16.
Oh, kind of like bat mitzvahs are not necessarily about reading from the Torah. It's more about like what DJ you're getting. And
yeah. And I'm sure there's really traditional bat mitzvahs and there's really casual bat mitzvahs. Right. So just like that, like this is an extremely formal representation of this event. Mm-hmm. This can be like whatever cultural crossover from child to adult, that's what this represents.
It is goofy though.
It's so goofy.
Yeah. I guess a lot of the whole across traditions.
Across traditions, it's a little goofy. But if it's you get to be queen for a day. Like I was jealous of the girls who had their quinceañeras. Because I was like, you get to be queen for a day and your whole family comes out and is thrilled for you. They're so excited.
Yeah. There's from a person who has said things like my birthday month, I can't really go back in time and fix that. I didn't want this kind of attention and lavishness and pick me and it's me and it's about me and I have my day and I have my week and all of that. I wish I didn't want that. I wish that didn't feel good. And I with a lot of reflection, I feel like it feels good because on other days I'm afraid to ask for that kind of.
That's a good point. And I do that too. I'm like, make a big deal about my birthday. It's my birthday. And
it's because I don't want you to prepare food for me on a regular basis, even though that's what I want. Right. I don't want you to massage me every night, even though that's exactly what I want. But if I ask for it on my birthday, I'm allowed.
Right.
So then it becomes too much of a big deal.
See, I started asking for things on my birthday because I made the mistake when I was younger of claiming I didn't want anyone to do anything. Mm-hmm. And then nobody did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I felt worse because this was, I said I didn't want anything, but I really did. So now I'm more honest and I'm like, I want to do something. And I like making a big deal about, I call it Carrie Day. You're familiar with Carrie Day. I send out badges. If someone wishes me a happy birthday, I wish them back a happy Carrie Day. I correct them. Carrie Day is for everyone, whereas birthday is only for you. But everyone.
Yeah, when I say when somebody says happy birthday, Chemda, I say and also with you.
Yes, exactly.
I want to share it.
Yeah, so we have similar birthday vibes, but I think
yeah.
But also whatever, give me one day where everybody does what I say and it's nice.
But I think it's more one day when we allow ourselves to say what we want.
Oh, yeah, totally. But also, I don't want to pretend I don't want anyone to acknowledge my birthday at all, especially if I'm with a partner. Mm-hmm. At least that person. And I think I told my current partner when, the minute we decided to be boyfriend, girlfriend, official, I was like, if I ever say I don't want anything for my birthday, know that I wouldn't say that, but I want you to acknowledge my birthday.
Yeah.
At the very, because I've had partners that didn't. Because I was like, I don't know, nothing.
I had people call it childish and like unreasonable, and like it irritates people.
To your
like,
face?
why do you? Oh, well, yeah. And why do you expect this? You're putting a lot of pressure on him, all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. Then don't date me.
Then, yeah, exactly. Then I'm too high maintenance.
Honestly, if this is like, if you can't do that, and there's more than one day in the year that I'm hoping that you would take me seriously. Like, and there are like extra special days. Yes, I want Valentine's Day, but also yes, I will move it to a different day if it's more convenient for our calendar. I just want days, and I will make up days so that we can celebrate me, celebrate you, celebrate us. I want to pretend celebrate a lot of things so that we don't forget that if we're not that, we're roommates who like split the bills, you know? Like it's
you're
important.
makeout roommates.
Well, yeah, but like, let's make out more on special days. And like, you know, like.
You should have makeout day. It's makeout Saturday.
Done. You know what I'm saying? Like, done. I will make up a date to go with that because it's not the date. It's that we need to
make things special.
Yeah, we need to be in that kind of relationship because that's what we're promising each other. Because anything other than that is, like I said, splitting the bills and getting sick together and growing old. Like, we gotta like each other. We gotta have this other stuff going on.
So you just described why you want to be a debutante.
Oh no. Okay, so we also find out that being a debutante, my God, means that Chris has to be involved. Dad has to be involved. And this is so sad because the only other time we see Chris is how Carrie realizes this guy's never around. Like, what your first introduction to him is he hasn't really called. He's never been in their town. And now Rory's like, oh no, I have to have my father on this day. And Lorelai's like, no, we can get him to come. Like, and Rory's like, no, it's okay. I'll ask the mailman or whatever she said, you know, like, I'll ask Taylor. It doesn't matter. I don't really care. Don't worry about me on my birthday. And Lorelai calls Chris and has to say things like, she has never asked you for anything. And although no one's keeping track, it would seem that your constant non-presence in her life and your lack of ever showing up when you say you're going to, or calling when you say you're going to, or basically doing anything when you say you're going to, would tend to indicate that you owe her big time. Now, before you say no, he didn't even say anything. I want you to take a minute and remember you have a great daughter who needs you, and she has a mother who will hunt you down like a half-price Kate Spade purse if you disappoint her. The fact that then he says yes to that, and Lorelai almost didn't hear him because it was a tone that he never puts out, and it somehow missed her.
Yes.
It only meant to Rory that he's might 50-50 chance of being there. And that's the only level of expectation this man has.
Yep.
Even though when he said yes, after the shock was over, Lorelai goes, wow. Like, she's almost like, that's darn nice of you. And then the rest of the episode is a big fat, that's darn nice of you for him doing literally anything.
Right.
And even you were like, oh, Chris showed up.
Well, he said I'll definitely be there. And then they both said the word definitely. And I wrote down the word definitely. And I was like, I guess Chris isn't showing up. Because like they set that up. They set it up that Chris is not a dependable person and like won't be there. And like they're going to just keep getting fooled by this guy who like doesn't show up. And the fact that he changed his number and moved across the country and Lorelai, this is the first she's hearing of it, is wild to me.
And Boston is very close to Connecticut. So that means you still haven't seen your kid and you live in Boston and didn't tell her and didn't tell them.
Yeah. Yeah. And why didn't you tell her that you were changing your phone number? What if she needed to reach you in an emergency about your kid? Yeah. This one was not an emergency, but what if it was? You move across the country, you tell the mother of your child. I don't know. I feel like that's a thing you might mention.
You actually have to.
Yeah. I think you do.
Of course you do.
Also, did you hear the drummer in Spinal Tap reference?
Yes, I did.
Because
but I don't.
The drummer in Spinal Tap always got swapped out because I think he kept dying.
Oh.
So there was always a different drummer. That was the running joke. And there was also a reference to a 976 number. Did you catch that?
I did.
Because those were the sex hotlines or the party lines.
I called those at around 12.
Nice.
It's he, poo,
yep.
poo, poo, poo.
Call them and hang up. That was a good night.
Actually, what I did is I called up and pretended to be an adult one time. And I got in way over my head, and it was a party line. Did I tell you this?
No.
It was a party line. You used to call in like you went into a chat, So you called in, and it was a party line, and you could speak to other people who just, all of a sudden they were in this party line room. And then I was like, hello. I put on like what I learned from the movies and TV, like, hi boys. And then,
what?
Yeah. And I'm like 12 years old. And then these two guys liked me and this other woman, I guess. And you can take yourself into a private party chat, and the operator would take you into a private party chat. And so I'm like, oh my God, what do I do now? I can't talk to them like real adults. They might want to talk about sex things. And they're like, oh, you girls sound sexy. Let's go to this other room. And then we got to the other private room, and they were like, and I made up a name. I don't know. Let's call it Mandy. At the time, I don't even remember. I probably panicked and said, Chris T. Manor, Doubtfire.
Right.
So I was there, and they go, where's Mandy? And I'm like, I don't know what to say. And I just stayed quiet for long enough. And then I was like, I can't do it. And I hung up. Because
good work.
Deal.
Where is that? And that guy was Donald Trump. Like, where is that guy now? He's like, nope. All right, Mandy hung up. Weird. like what?
Oh, okay. So she not only needs her father, she needs the boyfriend to wear a tuxedo with tails and gloves. And Lane and Rory are sitting there convincing Dean that it's a cool thing because look, Neil Young is wearing a tuxedo. And I always feel a little annoyed. And then I understand it. I'm like, why do I have to convince you? Dress up like an idiot with me. Go to this stupid thing so I don't have to tell you about it later. We'll have fun. Hold my hand like weirdos coming down the stairs or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go get a burger. I mean, I get it. It's uncomfortable. But
he does it.
I know, but it's so funny. It's like battle bots for a month.
Yeah. And he's like, he's grumpy. But I was afraid that was going to be, like all of my missed plot points. I'm going to be like, oh no, Dean's not going to want to do it. And then they're going to convince Jess to do it. And like they're going to page it. Like I was like, because why did we meet Jess last week? So I'm like, Dean's going to really wreck this one.
Right.
And that's not where the show went. It was crazy. So Dean's game for it. He loves Lorelai. He does love Lorelai, but he also loves Rory, and he's a good boyfriend, and he will do whatever it takes to make her happy.
He is. And the other side of my little rant is that Dean is so cute and he's such a good little boy. And
he's so sweet, and he goes along with it, even though he's grumpy about it, which is honestly, what more could you ask?
And not just that, he tells the truth. He calls her, what did he say he looked like? She looked like a big Q-tip or something, not a Q-tip. It was adorable.
Oh, a cotton ball. You look like an adorable cotton ball.
And he's right. It's
a goofy very cute.
Outfit.
I know.
They're all goofy. Fandance is goofy. Yeah, so everyone's convinced. Chris shows up to the ball. I'm just going to call it a ball. Chris shows up to the ball. Dean shows up to the ball. Lorelai has never looked better.
Okay. And I remembered she's like shiny, like her skin is glowing.
Yes.
And I was like, what? Like she's perfectly moisturized. And then I remembered that this was the early 2000s when we were smearing Shimmer on ourselves as a skin product. Do you remember this era?
I do, but I never liked glitter because I worked with kids and I put glitter on their face painting, and then there was glitter in my whole life, so I couldn't deal with it.
You didn't do the shimmer? They didn't call it glitter though. They called it like starshine.
Yeah.
Or glimmer but Victoria's Secret made a bunch of these like glimmer products that were lotion with like a sparkle in it. And you couldn't see it right away. Like, it was a little subtle. It was subtle. It was more subtle than glitter, like craft glitter.
See, the expensive stuff was subtle because it made you shine like how Lorelai was shining. She looked beautiful. Her shoulders were just gorgeous and they were shiny. But as you got to the cheaper and cheaper stuff, it was just glitter.
Just why did you pour glitter on yourself? Yeah. And Lorelai like tanned. Like, she was like,
she worked out.
Yeah, she worked out. Her shoulders were jet, or like the makeup artist like gave her shoulders definition.
And she reminded me to sit up straight because I
was like, oh my God, she's not slouching at all.
Yeah,
no, she looked fantastic. Are we at getting ready for the ball?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I guess I jumped to the ball, but
because we also Chris finally gives Rory the stupid dictionary.
Yeah, and here's the thing. When Chris shows up, first of all, poor Rory does the, oh my God, yay, it's Dad. And I'm like, oh my goodness. That should be a happy thing because, have a response like that to your father. That's fantastic. But you're never there. Then everyone's amazed that he has a car with doors, a job, and a dictionary to give to his daughter.
Yep.
Yay, you remembered.
Yeah.
You remembered and you brought it after she asked you and she waited and after you neglected her whole life. Congratulations. Okay.
And poor Volvo is known for being like the dorky car because like they could have given Chris like a sports car, but they gave him a responsible adult car.
Well, they were making a big point.
But like, why not just get a Honda? Where's your Toyota? Where's your like regular person car? You got to go to the extreme of like responsible people drive Volvos.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well,
like
now
it's like
Prius, right?
Yeah, it's something, whatever. Yeah, that was this generation's like, you got to get a Volvo if you want to stay safe.
And you know what? The Du Hast music, stop it.
Yeah. But then Lorelai's giggly and gets in the car with him. And
she's like falling in love.
That's when I started to think, oh, he has a girlfriend. Because now he's like put together. And like no one's talked about Chris's love life for 10 seconds. But I didn't say it then. I said it when they were dancing, right? Because
I think so, yeah.
I was like, that's not your boyfriend.
But she's like, oh, yay, the Christopher I've been waiting for.
Yes, exactly. Right. When she says that, I'm like, oh, I bet he's taken. Because now they're flirting and now he's like stepped up to the plate and became the man she always wanted. And now he's not available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, her parents are going through it. Once again, Richard is just being so dismissive of his wife. For some reason, he doesn't want to go to the ball, even though like it's his grandkid who he's in love with.
Exactly. And, like, he doesn't even want to do that. He's blaming, well, it is sort of Emily's fault. Actually, it's 100% Emily's fault.
It's not. Emily signs them up for everything. He speaks on her behalf and she speaks on his behalf. This is your affair as much as it's mine because we decided to have this life together.
Rory agreed to it, though. If she had said, no, it's only a week away and I'm not getting my granddaughter, debutante ready in a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, these girls have been planning this thing for a year.
Yeah,
it's like
what's different?
I mean, you got to learn the dance and you got to learn how to walk in heels and you got to it's a thing, especially for these people.
That's true. Yeah. I'm
surprised. Emily signed Rory. I would have told them, no, my granddaughter, it's not her thing. First of all, it's not her thing.
Well, secondly, she's not going to say that.
Right. She wouldn't say that to her friends, but that's what she should be thinking. That's not really her style. Also, it's too soon. And they were like, they'll make an exception for you. So this is 100% on Emily. And then she convinces Rory to do it. And the fact that Rory wants to do it just to please Emily.
Yeah, that's true. But you're supposed to back up your wife and your wife's supposed to back you up.
Right.
Even with these last minute plans but I think you could see Emily's desperation. She's not staying as pillory of community as she wants to be,
Right.
So and her friends were like, oh my God, you're going to be head so-and-so if this happens. And she's like, oh, let me get back in there because I missed out on so much. Let me get on top again.
Yeah.
And yes, it was a lot of pressure. If your husband is saying, look, I'm not in the mood for this, don't add, like consider that he's going through something, whether it's something that you care about or not, he is going through it, which we find out later.
Yeah.
Rory has to learn how to dance in 5 seconds.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You got to do this whole slow dance. You got to learn the fan dance. Like, it's a lot. This is a week away. Get the dress. I mean, I don't get alterations on the dress. The dress was off the rack. The
dress is supposed to be Lorelai's old dress.
Okay.
Which shows inconsistency when you see the first, when you see the picture of Lorelai and her coming out dress in that episode.
The photo album, yeah.
The photo album. It's not the same dress as what other Gilmore friends have.
So it got altered.
It got altered in a week, which Emily can do. And so they're at Miss Patty's learning how to dance in one quick dance lesson.
Yes, of course.
And before we get to Miss Patty and her mouth, we'd love to encourage people to sign up for our Patreon, because we have some chats before and after. We have some extra content, some bonus materials, some meetups, some things like that. Check it out. It's Gilmore Friends on Patreon. And you can always go to gilmorefriends.com for any information about the show.
That website again, gilmorefriends.com.
We did it.
We did it.
We said it together. We said it together. Believe it. Okay, so Richard doesn't even want to pick up his tux, even though it's around the corner, which, Emily, that's your job. That is your job.
Well, she assumed he would be able to. It sounds like historically he's been able to pick up his own dry cleaning because it's just like right next to his work. So this one time he's like, I'm not doing it. And then she's like, I'll get it. I'll get it now,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to fight about those things. Okay. So
of course,
Miss Patty flirts with everyone. Of course. It's never appropriate.
No.
But we used to let women get away with sexual harassment, with verbal, and we still let them get away with it. I don't know that you can do that anymore. I think equality means you can't throw these words out at people and flirt with them randomly.
Oops. Now you tell me.
And also, they're not going to learn how to dance. You're not going to teach them major dances. You're going to teach them how to look like they can dance, but really they're just swaying slowly or something.
Right. Or you're going to do like a simple box step or something, but you're not going to like cha-cha. You're not going to do like you're just going to do like, here's the 4 things to keep in mind.
Right.
Go.
Yeah.
You're not going to be like, and then you swing her over and grab her hand and, like, no. Yeah. Nothing fancy. But she's got to learn how to do this in heels.
Right.
It's not easy.
Mm-hmm. And then they show us that Lorelai and Chris really, truly grew up in this, because by the time they ran away from this life, they already knew all the dances. And so they danced together. And there's Lorelai again, falling in love much deeper.
Yep. And that's when I was like, he's got a lady. He's definitely got a lady. I wrote, he has a GF, gluten-free.
And of course, Chris knows how to tie ties. And Lorelai talks about how to be a lady, which is not even to get your egg roll. Yes, you
always need help. And once again, eating Chinese food on screen. Now that I know that's why, because you don't have to show amounts. You can do multiple takes of eating. That's why there's so many Chinese food containers on screen. I think I mentioned it last time they had Chinese food. But I love knowing that little Hollywood secret.
You're right. Because I always think that it's because that was takeout. It was Chinese food. You didn't really.
Right.
Most of the time you're getting pizza or Chinese food. But it's a lot easier to eat out of buckets that aren't see-through.
Not see-through. I mean, even pizza is easy, but then you can show different amounts and different cuts. If you eat a bite of pizza, you have to, you'll have an inconsistency, but not with Chinese food.
Yeah. I noticed in the episode when Rory was eating a hamburger, she took a small little bite, like enough to not make a difference depending on how you hold it. But then for the rest of the time, she was sort of picking at it with her finger.
Yep. Taking little bites because you're going to have an inconsistent burger and you got to eat whatever you eat the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a really hard one. And they had to eat a lot on screen here.
I know that. I think that's why there's a lot of coffee, actually.
Oh.
Or maybe that's why they never get food at Luke's. They order and then something comes up and they leave Luke's randomly. They never eat. Because you can't eat eggs on screen. It's going to be inconsistent between shots.
That's inconsistent pretty quickly.
Yep. I'm a great film producer.
You are.
I think of these things.
Yeah. So, despite whatever Carrie thought, everybody showed up for.
I couldn't believe it, you guys. I absolutely couldn't believe it. I was like, I forget who arrives first, but we see Chris there immediately. And I'm like, oh my God, Chris made it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, nope, there's still time for him to bail. He made it to the ball, but he's not going to make it to walking her down. He made it to the ball, but he's going to get some phone call from his girlfriend or his wife. He got secret married and his wife's going to call and he's not going to walk Rory down the staircase. Something's going on. Chris has got to bail on her. No. And then I was like, all right, Dean doesn't show up, or Dean shows up in a t-shirt and she's like, where's your tux? And he's like, I ain't wearing that thing. And then we hate Dean now. No, Dean shows up. He looks great. He's wearing tails. He's wearing a white bow tie. He looks uncomfortable, but adorable. They
both look like dolls, which I think is the point. Yeah.
But I love the getting ready scene. It reminded me of two other movies. Have you seen either Little Miss Sunshine or Miss Congeniality?
Yes. I love both of those.
These are both fish out of water getting ready for a pageant when you are not a pageant person.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those movies have that in it. And I thought this is that scene.
Name the movies again. It was
Little Miss Sunshine.
Which turns out her routine was shocking. And that her grandfather taught it. What a great movie. Okay, and what was the other one?
It was a great movie, but she wasn't a regular pageant girl.
Right.
Right.
And so she's looking around, everyone's being sprayed.
And everyone has their hair up and they're like full makeup on a 7-year-old or whatever. And she's just like in her little like outfit.
Yeah. And Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality is like Sandra Bullock is like just like the tomboy and she has to be tarted up to do Miss America, but they called it Miss United States in that movie because Miss America is a brand. But they have her trying to like talk to the other pageant people, the pageant women, and like not have anything to say because her routine to get ready is so simple. I just spit in my hand and rub it across my head and then I'm ready to go out the door. Like, so.
And I as a kid, I'm like, yeah, I also would spit in my hair if it would get me to look like what they look like when they wake up in the morning. Like I was everything that was tomboyish or low maintenance was always done by this gorgeous, gorgeous person.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me feel like, yeah, you can be casual. You could be a tomboy. You could not care about makeup. You could not care about all this stuff if you just are hot.
It's like a lot easier when you're breathtakingly attractive.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just symmetrical to no end.
You're like, why do you even do your hair? The pretty privilege is terrible.
I mean, it's if I put all the makeup on in the world, I'm not looking like them anyway.
Well, we're not pageant people. Like we didn't grow up in this world where like it's assumed that you like travel with a suitcase of like makeup and products and whatever. But these girls have, what I found weird about this scene was that shouldn't she recognize one or two people from Chilton?
I don't know. Yeah.
She should have Chilton classmates in the 16-year-old debutante coming out society thing in Hartford where Chilton is.
I guess so. But I guess if they're going to like 5 of them a year, like this one girl Libby did.
Oh yeah, you're right.
There's
yeah, that's a good point.
And this
like is where is Paris's, for example?
I don't know, but this is from the Daughters of Revolution.
Right. So it might just be like country club specific or like.
Yeah. And they might be part of a different country club. Although I think you are right because, Richard knew Tristan's grandparents. So like there's a lot of, oh, I know your family. So
yes, exactly. And
wouldn't
these
they be
are
at the same country club? And
these are the high society fam. So like Tristan should be there in theory.
Maybe as one of I mean, somebody from her school, Tristan being.
I thought she was going to run into a classmate getting ready for it. And they'd be like, what are you doing here?
Right.
For a second, I thought that when I saw the other girls getting ready.
That would it wouldn't be crazy.
Right. But that didn't happen.
No.
Nothing. I was so off.
No, but the thing is I thought the big thing that was happening and the hardship in this episode was not Rory's, was not Lorelai's. It was grandparents. It was their turn to go through something. Lorelai had the heartbreak, and Rory broke up with Dean that day, and everyone had Rachel left Luke. The grandparents, they never had we're not getting along and things are crumbling in our life. So that was their episode. And when Richard was talking about it, first of all, he's yelling at this place.
First of all, I thought the episode was going to go that Richard gets drunk.
Oh, okay.
Because when she's like, come sit down, he's holding a glass of scotch. I think it's scotch. And he's like, I'll sit when I want. And I was like, oh, is that what ruins Rory's day? That he gets drunk and they start fighting and the music stops and everyone looks and they're like, why is Richard Gilmore wasted? And he smashes the glass and he's like, I'll show you who's waiting. He flips the table. Ooh, sorry.
That's actually you did it.
I accidentally flipped my desk.
But no, he was talking like a drunk person.
Yes.
He wouldn't normally raise his voice. He said this whole ridiculous evening and she's saying, let's see. Oh no. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I just had it. Well, I'm just saying he's insulting the people in the room loud enough for them to hear and saying to hell with you. Now, these are his friends. This is his society. This is his life. So I think we find out that he knows he's about to kind of get fired. He's about to be phased out of work. Didn't you feel for him in that?
I did. I totally did. But I also, this scene is shot very well because in the background of the scene, you can see the girls on stage taking
dancing.
Well, they're coming down one at a time in their effectively wedding dresses. I mean, it's this beautiful white ball gown and they're coming down one after another. And I'm like, well, they're going to get to Rory. Are they going to is that what ruins this? That Lori looks around the room and her grandparents and her mom aren't there because they're in the hallway fighting. So I'm like, get back in the room, get back in the room. And while I'm thinking that, more and more girls keep coming down. And I'm like, who's that? Who's that? And I don't recognize any of the dresses because they're kind of in the background. And I'm like, no. And then I'm barely listening to what Grandpa's saying because I'm so stressed that they're going to miss Rory coming on stage. And we find out that he either is or feels that he is being phased out of his work. And his work is very meaningful for him.
I feel that if he thinks he's being phased out, he's being phased out.
Yeah.
Because he said I made up this way of phasing people out.
Yes.
I phased out this one person. They're just copying what I taught them how to do.
Yes.
He's got to be right.
Yeah.
And he was taken off the account. That means something. And Emily saying, so what to his face.
Right in that moment, she could have been like, I mean, not that there's anything right to say because he's heated, he's hot, but you could say, for 10 minutes, you got to pull it together so we can watch Rory do this thing. And we're going to pause. I hear you. What you're saying is valid and deserves a response. But for 10 minutes, we're going to pause this and watch Rory do this thing.
But instead she says, so what?
So what? Oh!
And then when Lorelai tries to be like, oh no, she doesn't mean it. She goes, so what? There are other options. And I really like this from Richard because I believe it's so true to his character. He says, I don't want other options. I want to get up every morning and put on my suit and go to my office and do my work like I've done every morning for the past 30 years. That is how he sees himself as a human being. He wants
stability and this is his work and this is what he wants to do and this is how he knows himself. And if this is taken from him, it's going to be an enormous hit to his self-understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt really bad for Richard.
Yeah.
But also, Rory comes in, she peeks her head out, and she's like, you guys, I'm about to go on stage. And they're like, okay. And they go back in. I'm like, wait, house is going to be ruined. Something has to happen. I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, I think the thing that was happening was more to Emily and Richard, and you kept thinking it's going to happen to the characters you're used to it happening to.
Yes. Good. Exactly. That's exactly what this episode did to me.
The only thing was the collateral damage, because Emily was so pissed as Rory was coming down the stairs. Instead of feeling delighted, she said, that should have been you up there. Nothing's turning out the way it's supposed to.
Yes, because that was ouchies. Because Emily was feeling ouchies, so she wanted to inflict other ouchies on our beloved characters. Bad move, Emily. Not cool.
But to me, it's like, oh, you are really gonna continue to be disappointed. Life will never turn out with your crazy picture. I mean, I thought we threw away that picture when I was 16 and ran away from home.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna keep trying to put the pieces back together.
It's not gonna happen. And poor Lorelai looked just crushed. Yeah. I mean, I could watch her all day with her glowing shoulders. Yeah. But she was beautifully crushed.
She's such a good face actor.
I know. I didn't like it. Face
actor. Yeah.
I didn't like it.
And then she got hit again.
What's that?
She got hit again later, which wasn't like such a hit. But what I'm talking about is after the ball, they go back to the town. Dean just wants to go home and take that suit off. Perfectly reasonable. And Chris can't hang out because he's got to go early in the morning the next day. So when Lorelai is saying goodbye to Chris, she's coming on to him a little bit. She even kisses him. And I think he waits too long. Mm-hmm. And I also think because he knows her, and I think he's enjoying being with her just as much as she's enjoying. Like, they come back into the fantasy of how close they were as children. And he puts her back in the place where it's so comfortable, even though it was painful. He is the only one who could look at her face and fully understands why her mother bugs her the way that she does. Because a lot of times when you don't really know what's happening, you go, but that's your mom. You say things like that, but that's your mom, but you got everything you wanted, but they love you so much. He knows, I know why it bothers you, even though it looks like you should be really happy about the life you were given. And he knows that she is happy. She knows she's privileged, but also her heart has been broken. And he knows that she's in that. And he waits until the very last second to say, I not only have a girlfriend, we live in Boston together.
We live together.
And she is the reason. She said she was going to leave me unless I straightened out. So remember when you had my kid?
Yes, and that wasn't reason enough for me. And now this other woman comes into my life, and it's worth it for me to straighten up and buy a Volvo and get a job. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And show up and
be a responsible adult. And also, what does Sherry think of Rory and Lorelai? Does Sherry know you have a secret family in Stars Hollow? Where does she think you're this weekend?
Well, I think it's reasonable for her to know that she has a daughter and an ex, or like at least.
But we don't know what she knows.
We don't,
because Lorelai didn't know about her. So why should we assume that she knows about Lorelai?
Because it doesn't sound like he and Lorelai even spoke enough to talk about who's with what. But he spoke to Sherry since he lives with her, so Sherry might know that he has a kid.
I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I feel like this is information that if you're moving across the country with a woman, you would want the mother of your children to know.
I agree. I mean, if I was Sherry, what I would want to know about that is, why didn't you give them the phone number?
Yeah.
Why do they have
Why don't you let your kid know your phone number?
Yeah.
I mean, my dad moved across the country for a woman, and we got his phone number.
Yeah. That's all you need. Like, you just have to be in touch because you're my father. Like, I have to know where you are. And the mother has to know where you are, not because you're into her, not because you want to talk to her, because you have to.
Right.
You have to for at least a certain amount of time. And then you're going to run into each other also. Yeah. So that's life.
Yeah. And that's not responsible parenting.
I mean, for life.
Moving across the country closer and not giving the number is like, I don't know, kind of a bigger oopsie than like the green flag of showing up at a debutante ball.
Why would you want this person back in your life if he didn't even give you his new phone number?
I know.
When you have his kid 2 hours away and she's not an adult yet.
Right.
He's still not responsible. Responsible would be, I know you live in Boston.
Yeah. Right.
Dad.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I was horrified. Chris is doing the absolute bare minimum. I mean,
and
we are very proud of him for like, you know, I bet he drives with a seatbelt too, like a square.
Right.
You know?
Right. So you know, Lorelai, he doesn't belong to Lorelai. So it's not like Chris really did anything wrong. But Chris, I see you.
You know what you did. Yeah, I know. Because he entertained the fantasy again. He like opened the door of remember the last time they hung out, they had sex on a balcony.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't that long ago
and he didn't turn his face when she kissed him.
Yeah. If I were Sherry, I don't think I would like them dancing like that necessarily. I'd probably be fine with it. But like,
no, you know what I wouldn't like? If I was watching you from out of earshot and your body language is so that she can kiss you on the mouth and you don't move and she stays there and she's a little flirty and whatever. You're adults. That's too much.
Yeah.
That's not your woman. And
and then I'd be like, you didn't even tell her about me. Right, you know, like you didn't tell the mother of your children about me. This poor woman.
Mm-hmm. You're waiting until she hit on you. And
we spelled Sherry differently, by the way.
I originally spelt it with a Y, and then I saw that it was spelt with an I somewhere on the internet. So I
wrote Sheri.
Oh, that could be too.
Cherie. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I wrote, Chris has lady friend, which is so messed up. And like, I feel for Lorelai, because even when the ex finds someone else, even if you're in another relationship, if your ex gets married, it can still hit you.
No.
It hits me when my exes get married.
I'm going to tell you this right here. Stop it.
I know.
Stop it.
It's not intentional.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Stop feeling my feelings. Got it. Check. Will do. Because it closes a chapter.
Close the book. Ew.
Especially if it ended well.
Go to a different library.
Okay.
Sell it on eBay. Get out of here.
All right. Somebody weigh in on the comments and tell me I'm not crazy. That even if you're with someone else, if your ex gets married, even if you ended on good terms, does it kind of give you an feeling?
You know what all feels? When my exes get married, I'm like, oh, that poor girl.
See, that sounds like you didn't end on a good note.
Please, I'm an adult. I'm not ending on a good note.
I've ended relationships on a good note, and then they get remarried, and I'm like, oh,
good note? What good note? What could possibly break us up? Only bad things.
Well, we figured out we're going in different trajectories, or we're both awesome, but we're not right for each other.
Yeah, I guess I did. I didn't have that.
I had a bunch of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't relate.
What could possibly break us up? You're like, oh, we just decided we shouldn't be together.
Yeah, okay.
Like, okay.
You know, my problem is a lot of times they decide that before I get the memo.
Okay, all right. So we clearly, I have touched a nerve with you.
Okay, so
but I found out my college boyfriend got married, and I was like really bummed out. I was like, and I knew I shouldn't be because he wasn't mine, blah blah blah. But it was officially like closing it, like tying off another. All right, you know what? I'm not explaining it again. You're giving me that look.
I'm sorry, I don't. There is no other
like
look.
Unrelatable.
No.
All right, someone else. Tell me I'm relatable. God damn it! This is terrible.
I'm sorry. I know other people relate to it, but I disagree with it.
All right, but eventually we get to Emily gardening.
Yeah. Okay.
And you say, I love this outfit. And I said, my mom wears that exact outfit to garden.
Okay, that's what I love about it, because you can say that there's an outfit for gardening.
Oh, yeah.
And I love
it's mostly the hat. It's the hat and the gloves.
It's the hat, but Emily's in jeans. She's got a pillow under her knee.
She's not in jeans. She's in khakis.
Oh, it's
pleated.
Very casual. Very casual.
Pleated khakis with a leather braided belt.
See, I love when there's an outfit appropriate to the thing that you're doing. You know, like clearly you're gardening.
Yeah,
clearly you're going to church or whatever. There's something. She looked so beautiful. And I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something lovely about it.
Yeah, she looked great with her little hat.
Yeah.
And then
she's not allowed out in that outfit, but
no, that's the gardening outfit.
You may garden in that outfit.
Or at least the shirt is the gardening shirt. Those pants could probably go out too, but
don't be gross.
Not in that moment.
Don't be gross.
But Lorelai comes in and says, "You're just here to hang." And Grandma pretends she's never heard the term hang out before in her life, which is...
Well, she said, "Are you sure you don't want anything?" Because as we learned, every time Lorelai drops by, she wants money or something or favor. So now she doesn't want anything. And her mother is stunned. She's really just here to be with me. And this scene gets me every time. I'm teared up. Because earlier in the show, Emily was clearly distraught by her relationship with Richard and what just happened. You know, he was snippy at her, and Lorelai said, "Oh, what's going on with you guys?" And Emily says, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah,
and you can't even talk to your daughter about it. Which my mom was a little bit like that. You know, she would be like, she would slip a little sometimes and say, "Oh, your father did some, you know, whatever it was that their relationship is." And I'm like, "Oh, that's not nice." And she's like, "Don't talk about that, like that about your father." Because it's like, no, she takes it back. She pulls back. And so I thought it was very sweet that Emily got to have that without breaking her idea of what relating to your daughter is. So she didn't have to talk intimately or share vulnerability. She got to share just the feeling of it without crossing her boundaries. I thought that was a really nice gift from Lorelai.
Yeah, I liked it too. Yeah. And I like that her mom, that Emily didn't say, "I don't know what you're talking about," or "Why would I need to talk about anything?" She just went, "Okay." And that to her is a barrier coming down a little bit.
That's enough of one.
Right. In this moment. I know, it was really sweet.
Yeah. You don't have to expect closeness in the way that the other person wants.
Right.
They're giving each other their own version of the closeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
That's so sweet.
And I think Emily understood that, but she's not ready to talk about it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And what was nice is that Lorelai knows that. And this is as far as we go. And it's lovely and it's a nice feeling.
Yep. Roll credits.
So good.
And I was like, oh. Oh, getting teary.
Yep. Totally touching moment. Very, very lovely. And if you notice, we say this a lot. Don't bring up the past. Just be with the person the way they are now and the way they always were, so that you're not constantly asking each other to change in order to be around each other. And they did that for a moment. Yep.
Split second. They give it to us. They show us glimpses. I'm telling you.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Yeah. So, shall we get into some trivia from this episode?
Trivia me up.
Oh. Okay. Season 2, episode 6, called Presenting Lorelei Gilmore. November 6, 2001. Okay. So, you know the drunk debutante, Libby?
Yes.
That Lorelei was talking to at the ball. She's an actor and a singer named Samantha Shelton. So she has a ton of credits, and it includes a few episodes on Judging Amy. I don't know if you know that show. I used to like it a lot. And Bob's Burgers, which I like a lot. And a few others. But what stood out for me is when reading about her, from 2001 to 2005, Samantha Shelton performed in the Jazz Cabaret with what fellow actress whose last name sounds like a sauce?
Whoa. Cabaret, last name sounds like a sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny Marinara.
No.
Samantha Alfreda.
No, this is Samantha Shelton. She and what actress?
Okay.
That actress sounds like has the last name that is a sauce.
And it's not Jessica Tomato?
Nope, it's not marinara. It's a different sauce. You're going to kick yourself because I know you know this sauce.
Maria Pesto.
No.
I don't know. I'm naming.
It sounds like it. So Samantha Shelton and Zoe Deschanel.
Deschanel, really? Oh.
Mm-hmm. They had an act called "If All the Stars Were Pretty Babies," and it was like this cabaret show or something, or this jazz cabaret. Have you ever heard of this?
No, I've never heard. Well, this was a live performance, or this was a show, like a TV show.
I don't even, I don't. It was an act. They're calling it an act.
Yeah, but where could one view this act?
I don't know.
I bet it was on like some dank off Broadway. Like I bet it was really scrappy.
Right?
That sounds cool. That sounds really cool.
I picture a live show that you're like, wait, who am I watching right now?
Right, like in a black box theater when you're like, what are we in for tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounded fun. So.
I meant dank as a compliment, by the way.
Okay.
Like, that's the theater you get your start in, you know? You got to do the dank ones, yeah.
Yeah, so that's her.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then, the presenter at the ball? So her name is Millicent Martin, a well-known actress. So she made her Broadway debut alongside Julie Andrews in something called The Boyfriend.
Oh.
Not the boyfriend, the boyfriend.
The boyfriend, okay.
In September of 1954, she was on Broadway.
Oh my God.
So other people might recognize her from the 124 episodes she did of Days of Our Lives.
Oh, never watched it.
I recognize her from the 20 episodes she was on Grace and Frankie.
Never watched it.
And others might notice that she was on 18 episodes of what popular spin-off show to a bar sitcom?
Frasier.
That's right.
Oh my God. Finally got one.
She played Gertrude Moon, Daphne Moon's mother, in the sitcom Frasier.
Cool.
She did a lot of things. Did you recognize her from anything?
I did not. I didn't watch any of the shows you named. Damn it.
Oh, Grace and Frankie.
I know. Everybody says that.
I love it. It's it's a little odd because they kind of filmed it like you're supposed to look at it like it's a play or something. It has a weird feeling to it, but it's so good. I loved it.
Okay.
It's not everyone's jam. But anyway. Okay, here's another one. One of Emily's friends on the patio is another actress in this episode who has a bunch of credits on a popular soap opera. Soap operas were big. Jacqueline Schultz. She was born on March 15th, 1956 in Queens Village, New York.
Oh,
fellow Queens person.
Hello, represent.
Mm-hmm. She was in the movie Jurassic Park. She has one credit in a few shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Titus, but she has 22 episodes on what popular soap opera?
General Hospital.
No.
Days of Our Lives.
That was the last one.
As the World Turns.
Yes. There were only like 3, right?
I know. I was like, quickly, name one from the 90s.
You'd get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had 22 episodes on As the World Turns from 1970 to 1982. I mean, wow. These people have been on screen for decades.
This is the job.
We see them.
Who did she play in Jurassic Park?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I think it said a screamer. Like it wasn't a big part. Like she didn't have.
She was a dinosaur. She was in the dinosaur costume. Okay, that makes sense.
Her name was Rex.
Yes.
And we want to show you a picture, but first we're going to ask you again to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for supporting the show in that way. And I want to show you this picture because in the last episode we talked about going to the circus. Look, it's a Polaroid.
Oh my God.
Going to the circus, and I had a picture after my mom did the clown makeup because she didn't want to pay to have the clowns do it for me. I found it.
Let's see it.
Here
oh my goodness.
Is.
Oh my goodness.
And I look pretty tall in this picture for some reason, but I can't be that tall. I should be around somewhere between 8 and 10 years old.
Oh my God.
At the most.
You look like an adult.
It is.
Or maybe the picture's taken from below. Do you remember if someone was sitting on the floor to take the photo?
That very well could be.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've never looked that tall, and I'm this tall now.
Yeah. That's weird.
So, yeah.
But that's some great clowny makeup.
Yeah, she did pretty good.
We should post that online. Let's see if we can get our scrappy team to post that one on Instagram or something.
I think I'm the scrappy team for that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, you might be the scrappy team. Okay.
I'll do it.
No, we got to pretend we have like hundreds of people. Somebody will do it.
Well,
yeah, we should post that.
It's on the YouTubes, so it'll be at least there. And that's it.
That's awesome.
Thank you for making it to here. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one.
All right. See you then.
Good night.
Good night.